So everybody, just in time, is Richard Armstrong for his first on-camera interview of 2023. It's an expose. We want to know all the bad because it's going to be so good.
You're in the outside. You're not kicking. The baby's always kicking when you stay at home.
It's because that's where he's supposed to be. Baby's not happy. Baby wants to be home in bed.
Oh.
But mama,
The baby wants to see the progress.
coming from the woman that just said you're on the inside, you're not on the outside.
I sleep good.
That's good. I slept good too.
Yeah, you really sleep good.
Slept so good. You know I'm sleeping good if you're awake. I saw logs at night. Do we need to set up some wood just in case it rains? Okay. So we had these light poles that are fabricated, and we're not sure if these are going to work the way they are right now. So what we've done is we've attached the solar street light onto them, or onto one, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come back tonight and we're going to decide one of two things. Do they need to be bent more, or do we just need to cut more off the top and shorten it? So what's going to tell us what we need to do is how the light throws. So in looking at it right now, I'm thinking that it's probably going to be a matter of bending it more. And if that's what we need to do, we can contact our fabricator, and he said he would gladly adjust that for us. Something like this is going to be a work in progress, and that is totally fine, because for us to buy these brand new would cost 20,000 pesos per pole. Instead of paying 20,000 per pole, we paid 12,000 for all three poles, and that includes the fabrication. That doesn't include the price of the lights. So we will update you on that and record some footage tonight when we return. But like I said, I think it'll be a matter of bending it more. Right now, I think it's around a 30-degree bend. So we might have to go to like a 25, a 20, I don't know. Well, if you bend it more, it wouldn't go lower. It would actually go higher. So if it were to be like a perfect bend where it was horizontal with the street, that would make it a 45-degree angle. So right now we're about 30, so maybe it'll go down to 40 and at most 45. So we'll see. The one thing that we want to make sure of is that tonight when we look at the light throw, we want to make sure that it doesn't light up the farm over here across the street, because this is actually a lot that's been sold, and if somebody builds their house there, the last thing we want to do is shine that light. We'll take a look tonight and see if it needs to be bent, shortened, or both. Kind of hard to tell with your camera. I had it on too. The weather's saying only 30% at 11 a.m., but nothing now. Do we believe them? Goodbye, Joe.
Oh, safety.
Safety. Okay, light a fire. No.
Pulutan sa corn.
We're gonna be okay. We're gonna live. Shelter, food. This is Stormwatch Anong 2023. And this is a perfect example of how you build shelter in just 10 minutes or less. We've got food, we've got water, and we've got each other. What more do you need? Hey everybody, hope you're doing good out there in the world. Once again over here on the build site. Got here a little bit early so I could do the vlog here. Plus it's nice and cloudy right now, so it's really cool. Kind of got a lot going on over here. Since I last saw you, we did bring out an excavator to dig out the house trenches. So behind me, you just see a lot of backfill. Prior to the last video, we had taken the backfill from the fence and kind of spread it everywhere and compacted it. But we are back to just dirt everywhere, which is obviously a good thing because that means that we have some progress going on. So behind me here, this is just an example of one of the trenches. What we've done is with the trench right here, we had the excavator dig it a 1/2 meter deep. When we did the trenches for the fence right here, we did it 1 meter deep. Obviously, because that's the first line of defense. For the house, we're doing it a little bit different. Again, we dug 1/2 meter deep, except for where the column holes are, we went an extra 1/2 meter, making it 1 full meter down, and they are 1 meter by 1 meter with a 1 meter depth. You couple that with the amount of backfill that we're going to be putting around it, it's going to be so stable, it's not even funny. So I'm really happy about that. I mean, this place is going to be like a fortress. When it happens, and it will happen when we get earthquakes, because they happen periodically here, this thing, knock on wood, is not going to fall down whatsoever in comparison to places that didn't have as much detail and attention put into it. So we've got that going on. And then I'll walk around over here and see if we can get this on camera. So as well as the house trenches that were dug out, we also had the garage dug out as well. Again, we did that 1/2 meter down. As you can see behind me, we've already poured the footer, which you can't see behind me, but on top of that is the retaining wall foundation, which we still need to take the forms off. And then we have the columns right here, which after we take off the retaining wall foundation forms, we'll form these up before lunch, and then after lunch we'll get those all poured. And so there was a change in plan for the garage initially. What you see on your right, these columns here, were originally going to be taller than the columns on the left. So that means that the roof would have angled this direction. But we switched that up and now we're going opposite. So we'll make this side 11 feet tall, and that'll be including the thickness of the tie beam that'll go on top, the roof beam. And then on the right here will be 10 feet. And you can already see the tie beam is formed up on top. What we're waiting for, we're still waiting for our fabricator to do touch-ups on our light poles. Once we get those, we'll put those in. We'll put one here and we'll form up around that, or we'll pour around that along with the tie beam here. This first initial column was according to our last plan, so it's short. So we're gonna form up at the top here and get that extended so everything matches in line. And those will be 11 feet tall, and that'll make the roof angle this way. So it'll match the way it'll be, the direction that the roof will be going on the house behind it. The place is kind of a mess right now, which just means things are happening. Like I said, that's a good thing. We are down one team member. He decided that he was going to stop showing up. We've just been all having to put in a little bit more extra effort to make up for one man. We've been trying to find a replacement, but there is so much production going on in this area, so much construction, so many projects, that what we found with everybody that we've asked if they know of anybody that's available is that they're all looking for extra people too. We've got all of our house columns done, so these are all ready to be put up, and we'll start putting those up next week. We just need to finish all of the holes for all of the house columns. There's 16 in total, and I think we've got about a dozen of them dug right now. So we'll probably get that done today as well. But you know that they're a meter down because they've all filled up with water. So there's 8 right there. We've got 9. There's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, which means 15 and 16. Whoops, sorry, are somewhere in the middle over there, which is kind of difficult to get all the way over there. We had some rain a few days ago, and that kind of got rid of some of the dust that was floating around here, so that's nice, but it all came back, just like a boomerang. But I really wish I had Richard's excavator over here because it's so small. When the excavator came here to dig this out, you know, there's so many little pockets that it was running out of real estate. It could only do so much on its own without taking the risk of falling into one of these holes. The rest we've kind of had to dig out by hand using these digging sticks, which have proven to be very useful. But this dirt is so tough, you can see we've broken shovels, so I've had to replace 2 or 3 of those. And I went from wood to metal, and the metal ones are really, really strong. Septic tank is all formed up with hollow block. We had the plumber come out, punch holes in the wall, put in the pipes. They're ready for connection. We're still waiting for, there's a product, and I can't remember the name of it, but I'll show it to you guys later. Once it comes in next Monday, we'll mix that with the cement, and then we'll use that to line the inside of the septic tank and make it waterproof, because the last thing you want is this thing leaking. That would not be a fun cleanup, and we definitely don't want to poison the well. We don't want that getting into any of the water supply. But here's an up close of the final retaining wall for the garage, and it's sitting in its form right now. So we knocked that out yesterday. Ladies, no. Please step away. I would hate for you to fall in. They just go anywhere and everywhere. Anytime that we're pouring cement, they're laying underneath the mixer over there taking a nap. It's funny.